me and Paige, Kiki and Sonia were sitting right next to each other and knowing, like, they show us the numbers from 26, 27. They don't show you 30 and 30, 31. And my mom told me when I was younger, like, they'll show you the money here, but what about the longevity of it? The players that are coming after us, next year's players. So I think it's really important right now. Obviously, women's basketball is skyrocketing, and it's important for us to get what we want now, but not just now, but for the future as well. And it's really nice to have vets that may not be playing for 10 more years, but they are speaking for us because they know how important it is right now. It was an eye-opener for me, like hearing the things and hearing the language of things, and not things that I was happy to hear. It was disrespectful to things that we were sent back, the proposal that we were sent back, and knowing that, like, this is for the next generation. Like, it's important to be able to be vocal. If I sit back, it looks like I don't care. Like, and I know my voice and I know my platform. You love it or you hate it, I know it gets views. So I just know that I have to be a vocal. I have to sit at that table one day. But I right now, we have great leaders. WNBA All-Star presented by TNT. Let's welcome the night's official. Making her second All-Star officiating, reaching the dreams.
We get a very tiny percentage of all the money that's made through the WNBA, which obviously is through our entertainment, well, the entertainment we provide. And so we want a fair and reasonable percentage of that.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, today we're going to be talking about the WNBA, on how much of a failure of an organization it is. It's being subsidized by the NBA, and these people are asking for more money and demand, even after the viewership, even though the WNBA cannot pay them more money, and they're just a failing product. There are a failure of an organization, and I would like to see this. I would like to see them, obviously, lose the NBA subsidies, have the NBA drop them, and see what happens, because they will cease to be a organization very, very rapidly. So without further ado, let's get into this. So we have this here. There is no league as tone deaf as the WNBA. Pay us what you owe us shirts when you have to be subsidized is wild. So we
WNBA All-Star presented by TNT. Let's welcome the night's official. Making her second All-Star officiating, reaching the dreams.
It really is pathetic. And unfortunately, this is a common thing when it comes down to specifically the women in general. They have a huge problem with the ability to, reconcile to where they're going with in terms of money. Because they always feel like they're owed something, when the reality is it just doesn't work. Again, you have this here from this ex-person saying, there are roughly 144 players in the WNBA. If the league loses $50 million, they owe the league about $347,000 each. And it says here that they're projected to lose $50 million. So I don't know what else to go with this. So again, we have this here. Pretty much saying the WNBA expected to lose $50 million in 2024 despite surging success or surging interest. Well, even still, if you even want to call it a success, it's mostly offered to do this girl right here because of Caitlin Clark. And it's not because of anybody else or, God forbid, Angel Reese, because these are not the people that that is bring up the WNBA. Because before Caitlin Clark became a thing, you guys were pretty much nobodies. You were a laughingstock. I mean, you're still a laughingstock. You're just less of a laughingstock. Goes on to say here that WNBA has lost an average of more than $10 million per year, according to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. League could triple its annual rights revenue to between $180 million to $200 million from 2025. The NBA negotiating broadcast deals for both properties. This is an issue because this could severely backfire on them, because even though it's been increased in viewership, that doesn't mean that viewership is here to stay. We're going to be showing more about the statistics and reports about that between the WNBA and the NBA shortly, but you guys need to understand what's going on. So it says the Women's National Basketball Association, aka WNBA, is reported to lose $50 million this year, and the North American League ended May with its highest attending opening month in 26 years and record viewership across ABC, MSN, and CBS. So obviously, in 26 years, they finally got their highest viewership possible. And you have record labels and people saying like, oh, we need to sponsor this. We need to get in onto this, even though it's one time in 26 years, and you don't know that it will probably fail or collapse or go below. That's not good. I mean, they're going to cost these places money, and then what's going to happen is that these places that are going to offer them more money are going to drop them because they're not meeting the actual revenue that they want to be paying, right? However, the WNBA remains unprofitable in this 20th year. The NBA told the NBA had lost more than $10 million per year, and the Washington Post has now reported that the league and its teams are expected to lose around $50 million in 2024. So yeah, it's not good. So maybe you have the average viewers as being 212 million viewers, right? Maybe that the average 212 million viewers. Or no, not 212, but 2.2 million viewers, right? That's not good because that's only 1 year. We have this here as well, where fans slammed WNBA stars for protesting their pay after the league posted a $40 million loss last year. And yeah, and it ain't great. They go on to say is, when is the last time the WNBA made a profit? Generally asking. The league doesn't turn a profit. I guess they're paying for free. How is not one of them aware that they're bringing absolute no money? What entity are they asking to pay them? Like, where does the money they want come from? Isn't the WNBA losing money every year? Their league loses a ton of money. They should be paying the league to play. They have no shame. Yes, they're getting destroyed, as rightfully so. And here's the reasonings behind what's been going on here of why they're doing this and why they think they deserve more money, even though it makes no bloody sense. Take a look.
The shirts, the comments you all made here, seeking the fan support, right? A rally behind you for the rest of the league. Those shirts are on sale. I expect we'll see them in your arenas when you guys come back from this. How much is making clear your priorities and having that fan support part of the plan here?
You know, it's extremely important, and I appreciate you asking that because, you know, it applies pressure. And even those chants tonight, the signs, I think it just shows that, you know, obviously as players we're united, but the fans are united in what they believe that we're seeking, and that's extremely important because that pressure can put, you know, a lot of good things on the table for us. You know, and I think, like I said earlier, like I'm just going to continue to harp on it, that awareness piece. Maybe someone that tuned in today that hasn't seen a WNBA game before or not super familiar with the climate of what's going on and where salaries are at. I know a lot of times, you know, we're gaining a ton of new fans, and it's really important to educate them on what we're asking for, why we're asking for it, where it's at now, where it could be. And so I think it's really important that, you know, the fans showed up tonight for us in many ways, and it's exciting because I know that's going to continue to happen throughout the season.
All right, we have time for one more.
What do you mean by what you owe us?
You know, the players are what is building this brand and this league. There is no league without the players, and, you know, the past, present, the ones coming out, they're the ones that have put in the blood, sweat, and tears for the new money that's coming in. And so we feel like we are owed a piece of that pie that we helped to create. So that's basically what that is.
So the WNBA had an all-star game. I know. Who knew? Not me. I didn't have a clue. But they came out wearing shirts that said, pay us what you owe us. Nothing? Like, you're a subsidized league. You cannot operate without men. So without men, there's some in the league, you can't operate. You can't operate. You don't even exist without men. What you're owed is nothing. Like, I need you to understand this. You don't, there's one player that's owed. There's one player. Caitlin Clark. The rest of you, You're not owed anything. You are actually a liability to the NBA. At some point, the NBA is going to go bankrupt trying to push this agenda of women's basketball. It's a sorry product. Skedaddle.
Dude, the WNBA just doesn't get it. I saw this and I immediately turned this off. Pay us what you owe us. What exactly do you think you owed? The league has never made a profit. Never. And you're due to lose $50 million this year. What do you think is owed? The girl that could get you to make a profit, you guys bully and beat up as much as you can. I just don't understand what these women are thinking. You know what? Go on strike. Go on strike if you're that unhappy. Go on strike. No one would care. Pay us what you owe us. You're going to make the league go bankrupt. How about the league start turning over some profit before they can actually pay you guys? This was a complete turn off of the WNBA, at least for me. I may be tripping, but it was a turn off.
Entitled people piss me off. Truly they do. And the reason why I'm making this is because as I was doom scrolling, and yes, I'm doom scrolling right now, I came across the WNBA players talking about, oh, pay us what you owe us. Like, they literally have a shirt saying pay us what you owe us. And my sisters, no. Like, yeah, the WNBA is losing money. Here, let me show you guys. Y'all lost over $40 million fucking dollars because no one watches your shits. It's not profitable. And you talking about pay us what you owe us? Most of y'all suck. And I don't even play ball like that. You feel me? Like, bro, there's a reason why I watch the NBA more so than the WNBA. No one wants to watch y'all, not all y'all, but like most of y'all sucky ass girls play. It's as simple as that. And the most noteworthy one there is Caitlin Clark. She should be the face of it. But then y'all got like these, you know? Y'all ever heard the saying, here, let me say it. Let me pull it up because I had to remind myself of it. Offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, contributing to nothing. Which perfectly describes what's going on here. You're not contributing to anything. You're not entitled to anything. And frankly, it seems like you guys get offended by anything that pertains to you critiquing women. So if anything, it's a tax write-off for the NBA if they let this shit go. You feel what I'm saying? Because like, bro, oh, no one wants to watch y'all play. And before I get these misogynistic allegations, which nobody really knows what that word means, and people just use this word so loosely because it's a buzzword, but no one really knows what it means. It means hatred of women. Nothing about this is hate. It's the truth.
Yeah, so I don't see to where, like, they are owed anything. If they're losing $40 million, or at least projected to lose $50 million, low in $40 million, that's bad. That's not good. That's actually worse than average if you want to think about it. Because if you're losing $10 million a year, right? But then you all of a sudden jump to losing around $40 million more dollars a year, that's insanity, right? That's insane. Even still, if you're jumping to losing from $10 million every year to $30 million, that means it's really, really bad. So again, let's go look at this. So we have this here that says the WNBA provides the WNBA the NBA provides the WNBA with an annual subsidy currently exceeding $15 million to cover operating costs like facilities, travel, marketing, and administration. While the NBA owns a significant portion of the WNBA, the league is not profitable and relies on its financial support from the NBA. So if like I said, if the NBA says, nah, you're too much, but guess what? They could say goodbye, and then the WNBA collapses. They have no longer a actual organization. They have no league. It's just gone. Poof. Kabam. And even in 2023, they were expected to lose $50 million. So not only did they expect to lose $50 million in 2023, Caitlin Clark managed to save it. But then even still, you have this where they were losing $10 million annually, and this is an ongoing thing. Now, we probably don't want to do 2021 because of COVID and stuff like that, so we don't want to go with that. But it's not good at all. I mean, it's inherently bad. And then this is what this lady has to say about, the actual reasoning or how delusional they actually are.
A lot of misinformation out there, and people think that the players are asking for NBA money, and that is simply not true. First of all, why is this happening now? Well, the CBA, or collective bargaining agreement between the league and the players, expires this year. So that means negotiations are opening. So what are the players actually asking for? What they want is not the same dollar amount as NBA players, but the same percentage of all revenue. NBA players receive 50% of all league revenue. Right now, WNBA players receive roughly about 9.3%. They want 50% just like the men have. This is especially complicated in the case of someone like Caitlin Clark because she drove herself roughly about 26% of the entire league's revenue last year, $50 million or so dollars. And in her case, her salary for the league is $76,000. Yes, she has other sponsorship deals that she makes millions from, but that puts, in an extreme case, some of those numbers into perspective. Why is the league against potentially doing this? Well, one of the reasons is because last year in 2024, even though revenue and viewership surged as much as 200% in some studies, they still operated at a loss the last calendar year, about $50 million. That's just a brief overview of this issue. It's very complex. There are a lot of layers. But in short, WNBA players want the same percentage of all revenue that NBA players receive.
Yeah, so it is not good, right? It's like they say they're also lying as well. And what we have here is this is the WNBA season for season 2, or at least of this year. They had a total reach of 23 million and a streaming hours of 3.7 million. However, if we go to the WNBA or the NBA, they actively automatically reach these highs on average. Like, it's a constant thing with them. So, I mean, if you had the regular season is between 1.5 million to 1.5 million. This was in 2002, and then the rest of these, you just see them be like, be still in the range of between 1.7 and 2.5 million, which is their record highs. But even still, like, you can see this. And in the finals, it's significantly more. It's 9.9 million, 17 million in 2003 and 2004, and it just keeps on going up. So, like, they don't even come close of the actual. They barely reach the average of the regular season of the NBA, and when it comes down to their finals, the WNBA doesn't even come close. So, like, it's like you guys are just a failure of an organization. You're a failure of a league. You're bragging about your immense amount of reach and the amount of the total people that you've had, but it doesn't matter because your reach is barely the amount of the NBA. So, like, what do they owe you exactly? They can't owe you anything because there's nothing that you're a failure. So again, these people are idiots. The WNBA shoots themselves in the foot. I mean, their own star player, they harass and bully and call her racist, etc. So I don't see why anybody want to support this league anyways. And I don't think this viewership or this audience reach is going to last very long, especially if anything bad happens to Caitlin Clark, as we've seen before, when she gets injured. Well, the viewership immediately fumbles. So, like, if they lose Caitlin Clark, they're done. They're going to proceed to be useless. So I don't know what they're doing. Pay what else you owe. Well, maybe you should start earning your money first by producing a better product, then get what you owe. But these people are entitled. They're terrible, and they're really showing their true colors. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.